What's going on? MLA Morg Meme, thank you for being here. Already morning, MLA. Hope you had a great weekend. Mine was extra long because we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and now Tuesday off. Thank you, Mr. Weatherman and Mother Nature, for making a beautiful 5-day-long weekend. Yes, poggers indeed. How was everybody else's weekend? Everybody had a fun time shovel. Well, it depends where you're at, I guess. Not everyone had to shovel snow. I came out this morning. I had a good 10 to 12 inches of snow in on top of all my vehicles and uneventful. Well, that's good to know. Morg Meme, how'd you do in being from Antarctica? Did you get like 40 feet of snow over the weekend or what? We have to make sure I have guests in the studio today that I have to make sure that they know that you're from Antarctica. Because, I mean, it's not every day you get to meet somebody from Antarctica, right? It's a joke. She's not actually from Antarctica. You had to go in adult things? Oh, that sucks. I did not. I worked out all weekend. What else did I do? I got to hang out with some good friends on the weekend. Your car door wouldn't open? Ugh. That's the worst. So how'd you get it open? I've actually pulled the handle off of a car door before when they were frozen. Hey, Forensic, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Glad you could make a Tuesday stream. I had to bust through the back passenger. What do you mean bust through the back passenger door? You didn't actually break anything to get into your car, I hope. Seems a bit much. Right, waiting for the snow to stop so I can shovel. Yeah, that was the worst. So last night, my wife went out right as the snow was starting. She went out to do some things at the church, came home at 10 o'clock at night. And then she comes in the door covered in snow and gives me crap because I didn't shovel. I'm like, it's going to snow for the next 7 hours, and you want me to go outside and shovel. Heck no. Oh, I love that ham sweet emote. That's pretty wicked, MLA. Hey, Schlem66, what's going on? Get in there, Jamir. Oh, it was the least frozen door. I got you. I've heard of people throwing hot water on their cars and then just making it worse and everything else more. I mean, because in Antarctica at minus 400 degrees, it's got to be like freeze instantly type thing. Another day in paradise, Schlem. Mm-hmm. Ferenz, Schlem, how was your weekends, guys? Well, today we are going to have at least one, probably two special guests on stream. Jamir and Brandon are going to be on stream with me today. Jamir is a former student of mine here at Rise Above and now a very good friend of mine, someone that the word loyal is going to come up a lot today, I think. We talked about it at breakfast yesterday, and it's something that Veronica and I deeply believe in when it comes to all elements of our lives, not going to lie. And I think this young man exemplifies, at least for us, this term. And I can't wait to talk to him more about how we met and what the future holds for him and for his cousin Brandon. But what I would say for you guys, what I'm looking for is deep defining questions. Give me something to talk about. Give Jamir and Brandon something to respond to you guys so that you understand more what Rise Above is, what we do, and why it matters to people. It is not just a thing, It actually has relevance and has outcomes. So I want to talk about that. So without further ado, Jamir's going to choke down a mint real quick. Let's say hi to Jamir.
What's up?
There you go. So, say hi, Jamir.
What's up? What's going on? How everybody doing?
There you go. Ferenc. So we have to define, we already talked about this. So we discussed this word at breakfast yesterday. So Ferenc wants us to talk about since we're talking about loyalty, he wants us to define loyalty. So we have to remember to get back to that. I'm going to make a note to define loyalty for him, because that's going to be an important aspect of everything we're doing here.
Okay.
So, Jamir, you and I have known each other since, it's got to be close to 3 years now.
Yeah, I would say longer than that.
Yeah, it's
Like
been a minute, eh?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. And, hey, Felix, what's going on, buddy? I'm going to do that a lot. I'm going to jump back and forth between talking to you and saying hi to friends as they pop in and out. So everyone say hi to Jamir for me. One of the things I would say right off the hop when we met you, you were a very quiet dude.
Yeah, still am.
Still a very quiet dude. I had to convince you a little bit to speak up for tonight.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
When you were in Jackson, because you're not originally from Jackson, are you?
No, from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland,
East
Ohio.
side of Cleveland, Ohio. Yep.
What was your experience like in Cleveland, Ohio?
You know, it's rough. You know, growing up in the inner city, and really any inner city of America. You know what I'm saying? But rough. A lot of violence. Losing a lot of friends to gun violence. You know, seeing it was just rough. You know.
Ferenz says he's from Cleveland as well.
Oh, what's up, Ferenz? What up?
Morg says hi as well, and MLA.
Let me see it. Okay. What's up, MLA?
Okay. Everything's great. Everything
like the
is
picture
awesome.
No, just read it.
Okay.
Diablo, thanks for the resub, buddy. Appreciate you. 19 months. Welcome back. Glad you could make it in today, bud. So you're from Cleveland. How the heck did we meet in Jackson then? Well, how's that even come to be?
So was getting into a lot of trouble in Cleveland. My mom decided me to send me to Jackson, live with my grandmother.
Yeah.
So came down here, went to Jackson High School for a minute, played sports. Ended up getting kicked out of high school. Ended up coming to Rise Above, and that's where we met.
Yeah. So how long were you in Jackson before we first met?
About
a year?
About a year.
A little less than?
Yeah, I think so. About a year, less than a year.
Yeah, so they're saying your volume's a bit low, so you just got to bring the mic up a bit closer for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually 100% better. I can already hear
better.
it. Yeah, 100% better. I got it turned up a bit on my end too. So, so you want to talk a little bit about what transpired to get you introduced to Rise Above? Because I think it doesn't just happen overnight, right? There's a lead up to that. And we don't have to get into the nitty gritty war details of it, but I mean, there's a reality to some of it. I think that people need to understand to some degree, at least to what you're willing to share, anyway. So how do we get to the point where you and I meet? Because I don't think it's an easy story.
No, it's not an easy story, but you know, it's just me. I see.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, because it's really no one answer I could give you. It's a lot of things, a lot of factors that lead into the decisions that I had to make and with everything happening. So
you were basically expelled from school.
Yep.
For a fight, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it was basically a fight.
Yeah.
And so you were introduced to Rise Above. You met. Now, what was your first thought when you were told about this thing called Rise Above? If you can remember that far back.
Yeah, I remember my grandmother showing it to me. I thought it was cool actually though. Honestly, when I was looking at it, because it, just looking at the pictures and just seeing how small it was.
Yeah.
Especially for me, I'm an introvert, so that's perfect for me.
Do you remember the interview? Do you remember coming in? Do you remember anything I said to you in that interview?
Yeah,
because I said two things very specific in that interview, and introverts unite, MLA says.
Yeah, introverts. But
because I said one of the first things I say is that, especially with students coming in for fights, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I assert right off the hop that I'm going to be the alpha male, that I'm going to be the boss.
Yeah.
Have I ever demonstrated anything less, do you think? How do you think our relationship has been?
It's been, it's been cool. Like we respect each other. It's a lot of respect, you know, a lot of mutual respect. And it's, I really learned a lot from you constantly on the daily, learn a lot from you.
Explain that. What do you mean? Because we've done a lot of different things together between the warehouse and the store, and we've done a whole crap ton of things.
Really introduced me into
playing
like
badminton in my backyard.
Right. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, but just showing me like something different. You know what I mean? Just something different than what I was used to in Cleveland. You come down here as far as like the business side of things. You had your Amazon business. Just seeing how that was ran, you know what I'm saying, going to the post office, taking packages, you know what I mean, and running that. And seeing how, from a business standpoint, like you run the school, it was just really inspired me to do something different, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So. I'm always curious. I don't think I've ever asked a student this now that I think of it. Am I easy on students, do you think?
Not easy, but not hard on students. You know what I mean? It's you're going to be on them, though. You know what I'm saying? You used to get on me all the time, make sure I was, doing what I was supposed to be doing. But at the same time, it's all, with love, though.
Yeah, because I think one of the biggest disservices I can do to you or any student that comes through my door, because you're not a student anymore, you're a young man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is to be dishonest with you. Lying to you is not going to do you any good. Right. Not going to do me any good either, because all it's going to do is create resentment between you and me, and that's that's the last thing I want to do is, create doubt in your mind about what my intentions are or what,
Right.
Because, the world that we come from, you and I both, because I don't come from a perfect world either. A little bit of my story.
Yeah.
I'm in a good spot now, but there was a time in my life when, I was in a Canadian version of Cleveland, Ohio. The trust and loyalty are huge words to me as well. Being able to know that when it hits the fan, I know who I can look to and who I can't look to. And, and one of the hardest things to do is to meet new people in those instances, because there's a trial period almost.
Yeah.
Right? Where I have to kind of test the waters with you. I can't tell you too much, because if I tell you too much, you might find out what's actually going on and, all that, all those layers, right?
Yeah.
And I remember that first week with you, when I remember it like it was freaking yesterday, man. I remember coming in and just having, you remember me pulling you out of class and having very intentional conversations with you?
Yeah.
I would literally pull you out of class into my office and just talk to you. Where you from? What are you doing? What brought you here? All that stuff.
Right.
And honestly, my goal was to just share my story with you as well, because I think a big part of gaining trust with somebody is being transparent.
Yeah. Definitely.
Especially early in a relationship. But I joke with Veronica that that I trust her the day I farted in front of her for the first time. All right, you're standing right. You're here for a good. No, I'm not going anywhere. I can see Brandon over there chuckling. It's just life changes immediately. Romantic, MLA says. Yes, very romantic. With Valentine's Day just passing by. Happy Valentine's to all the ladies. Yeah, Morgan's like, oh, what did I get into? When you were at Rise Above, obviously there's the normal program stuff that's going on, the classwork, the life skills, the counseling. You were here when April was here.
Right.
How did was the time with April valuable? Did you find that?
For sure. It was just helping me really, really, get into psychology and really understand, you know, why I do certain things and why other people do certain things, and just, you know, being interested in that and really finding out more about myself, and just having that one-on-one time, you know, every day, you know, on a consistent basis, something that like a regular school you're not gonna get that, you know what I'm saying? So that was definitely valuable.
Yeah, I know that April for us was a phenomenal gift that allowed us to do a lot of things with students that we, I mean, ordinarily aren't able to do. So for those of you that don't know, Rise Above has an in-house counselor that, you know, students have to meet with every week at least, and is discretional. So if a student wants to have extra sessions or anything like that, they can. It's very casual, very laid back.
Thank you, Morgan.
It's not hugely formal or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's 100% for you guys to figure stuff out. But so, what of all the things that we did, like the day-to-day, was there anything that you absolutely hated that we did?
That I hated. Well, you know me. Besides the actual class, the schoolwork, that was really the only thing. Like everything else, you know, like I had fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're okay with going to like do laser tag and all
like,
that kind of jazz.
Yeah, like I wanted to come here. You know what I mean? Just the school part, like actually do the work. But you know, what I'm saying, that's
because I always wondered, because you were always a more mature student. You're you know, you're thinking bigger picture. You're always thinking ahead. You know, even talking to Brandon, it did not surprise me one bit when I started chatting with Brandon early on that he was basically talking the same entrepreneurial mindset that you got. So, oh my gosh! As soon as he said it, I was like, "Yep, of course you said that." It's right up the alley.
Yeah.
So, who whoop you at laser tag? Morg meme. I carry these guns everywhere I go. Don't even start with me. But yeah, I was always curious whether you thought that was like silly or. Because I mean, we cater to. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, you know, some of those students were extremely immature.
Yeah.
Like,
you get on my nerves sometimes.
Yeah, and that's part of what I'm asking. You know, is did the other students in their immaturity and their inability to respect staff ever? Because I mean, in all fairness to the viewers, a lot of our students, not always. Right now, we have a phenomenal set of kids. You would love the kids that are here now. They're pretty immature, but they absolutely love our staff. But when you were here, we had a group of kids that was a mixed bag. We had a bit of everything.
Yeah.
When you were here.
Yeah.
And you ever get frustrated with other kids in how they talk to Andrew or Mr. Van Valen and all those guys? Because you were here when Mr. Van Valen was here, right?
Yeah. I was my guy. Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely get frustrated, you know, but looking back now, I understand it because, you know, everybody got their own circumstances, and like you never know what's going on, you know, with somebody before they came to school. You know what I mean? So you don't know what's their reasoning for that. So I understand it now, but in the moment, for sure, I was getting frustrated.
Yeah. So we talk about that. You raise a very good point, and we talk about that all the time here with our staff. About being slow to anger, because you know when when a student comes in and they're either got their head down, they're sleeping, or they're upset, or whatever the thing is that's going on, and we never want to assume that the morning or the night was perfect.
Right.
That they just went home, watched Friends or the hockey game, and then went to bed. You know.
Right.
You know, whenever a student is upset, we want to start with the assumption that okay, you know, is everything okay? Do you want to talk about X, Y, Z, right? Because I think for the most part, myself and Sierra excluded, the staff here have had a pretty normal middle class upbringing. Sierra and I think, are the only ones. Well, even Sierra, her parents are both prison guards. But you know, I know what it's like to go to bed having, you know, someone attack my mom with a knife before bed, you know, and then have to go to school and do the math test in the morning. Yeah, I can name off 1,000 crazy things that I had to go to school with.
Yeah.
You know, carrying from less than 24 hours before.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always conscientious of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm in chaotic moments. And I always think of Angela. Were you here when Angela was here? There's a girl named Angela that was here. She was,
I think so.
to say she was a hot mess would be an understatement, but a sweetheart right through to the very bottom. And I've always tried to be soft-spoken with students because she was one of our first students. And it always struck me when I talked to her that I'd always start with what happened in the past 24 hours. And then I would calm down because you can't help, even when you're the nice guy, you can't help but get excited in an excitable moment.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody else is heated, you can't help but want to raise your voice and kind of be that guy, you know?
Right.
But that's the one thing I always, appreciated about you. And we talked about this yesterday at breakfast, this idea of, you're not an excitable dude.
Yeah. I'll be chilling.
So even when you're upset and where most of us would be excitable, you're still a pretty even keel guy. Yeah. So you're always someone that I could 100% sit down and talk through, or even just sit with, if need be. Because sometimes we would just sit in my office and not say nothing at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's important too.
Yeah, that is. Or like days when I would come in, I just put my head down on the desk. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be every day because you wouldn't let me do that.
Not every day, yeah. Once in a while, though.
Yeah, once in a while, come down. Because, and even the teachers will be understanding of it. They know what's going on, see if I'm cool. You even let me go home if, you know what I mean? So, I make a big difference. That
was pretty rare, though, because I'm not a big fan of giving up my influence.
Yeah.
I let you leave this building, I can no longer influence you, right? I don't like being able to not to talk into your life.
Yeah.
I don't like, just sending someone home to go and sit and stew in their room.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Especially when students are into self-harm and that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I want to do is to put you back in an environment where you have the ability to do that freely, without me grabbing you in a headlock or giving you a wedgie and saying, no, not today, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what was the one thing, if you were to go and have the opportunity to speak publicly, which I think you kind of have that opportunity right now, what is the one takeaway that you have of Rise Above? Like if you were to say, oh, this is why every city needs a Rise Above. Like what did you love most about it? What was the one thing that you think you learned that you would want to share with somebody else that's in a similar situation or was in a similar situation to you back in the day?
I think it's really like the attention you get. Like you really, like if you're in a regular school and you're in that type of environment, you got, especially if you're in a big city, thousands of kids, in the school with limited staff where they can't, talk with everybody. Or so with Rise Above, it's different because it's smaller and you could, really get to know the students and just really understand how to help them.
Yeah.
In a way that's truly helpful.
Yeah. Did you believe at any point or even now that either the staff or Veronica or myself were, I use the term sold out, that we're sold out for you, or the term, that we'd fall on a sword for you type of thing, that we'd go to bat for you in every situation we could?
Yeah. I believe that. Definitely believe that. I know I could call you anytime if I need anything, and that and that's the importance of it too, is just having that long-term relationship, you know what I mean? Because it's so personal, once you get here, just keeping that friendship,
So let's talk about that word loyalty then for a second.
Yeah.
Since we're there and Ferenz was asking about it earlier, how do you define loyalty? Because we defined it at breakfast yesterday a little bit. So let's talk about it now. Because I'm gonna Google it while you do that.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you define loyalty? Put you on the spot a little bit. Brandon, you can chime in, buddy, if you want to. Let me bring Brandon in. I'm gonna bring Brandon in the conversation as well. Get ready. Put your makeup on, Brandon.
It's on.
Say hi to Brandon, everybody. You're on, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
Let's give Jamir a second because he's been doing all the chatting here. Brandon, how did you define loyalty? And is loyalty something that's important to you?
Yes. Loyalty is very important to me. I feel I'm the poster boy of loyalty. Um,
So what does it mean though? It's to say you're the poster boy of loyalty, but so at the end of the day, if everyone's saying hi, by the way, Brandon.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, everybody?
If how does loyalty manifest itself? Uncle Jim, what's going on, buddy? So if is loyalty just, hey, I'm having trouble making rent today, does that mean that you help me make my rent? Is loyalty, hey, I need to change this tire on my car, or is loyalty something bigger? Is it, because it can be easy. You can easily say, or loyalty just means when you need me, you call me and I'll come running.
True. Yeah, loyalty is definitely the bigger picture. I think loyalty is just staying true to who you are and who you surround yourself with.
Yep. Now, would you guys couple the word loyalty with the word love?
It goes hands in hand.
Yeah.
I think it goes hand in hand.
It goes hands in hand because you can't be loyal to somebody and not love them.
Yeah.
Right.
It has to be some type of love and respect, and there's different elements to loyalty as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I served 5 years in the military. And loyalty is, you're not loyal, boy, oh boy, you want to get ostracized quick. You want to get shoved out. And when you got a group of guys that are running around with fully automatic machine guns that you depend on each other for day in and day out, you know what I mean? The loyalty is a huge thing.
Right.
And I think that, man, I got to see your face, man. This is driving me nuts. There we go. I think loyalty is a big deal. And they talk about this term brotherly love in the context of the military all the time. And so for me, the word loyalty goes hand in hand with unconditional love.
Yes.
That when the proverbial crap hits the fan, no matter what, I'm with you. I'm in the trench with you, and I am willing to die with you if need be.
Yeah.
And die can mean spiritual death. It can mean a physical death, and an emotional death.
Yeah.
But just know that I'm going to be here with you. You're not going to be alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So in the context of that word loyalty now, does Rise Above fit any of that so far?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm here now, you know what I mean, on a podcast 3 years later, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's always been remarkable to me as we've done Rise Above now for the years that we have. We have 4 pillars of relationship that we follow here at Rise Above. One, that relationships are unique. I'm not going to treat Brandon the same way I treat Jamir and vice versa. I'm going to treat you guys completely different. Because, you react to things different than you. Maybe you don't, but for the most part, most people do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's not going to be fair that I'm going to give Jamir the same punishment or pat on the back for something that I'm going to give you, because you just respond differently. Because we talk about love languages and stuff like that all the time. If you've never heard of it, look into it. It's a great.
Yeah.
Between you and your family, it's phenomenal. We also talk about this idea of enduring relationships as well, believing that our relationship shouldn't, just because school is done, I shouldn't stop talking to you. I'm not going to invest a year plus into building a relationship with you, pouring everything I've got into you as a person, just to say, oh, well, good luck. Hope everything turns out. Let me know how it goes. Hopefully, we'll cross paths at Walmart one day. That's stupid to me. It really is. It's I use my daughter as an example of that all the time. To say, when my daughter got married, she's 26 this year. When she got married, I didn't stop talking to her just because she moved out of my house. Right? I love her to death. She's my daughter. When she's hurting or when she's happy, I want her to call me and say, hey, this is what's going on. Share this with me. So, and I want to convey, I love the fact that you got that when you were here, or that you at least walked away with the knowledge that, you can pick up your phone anytime you want and say, I'm in town. And I'm like, yep, we're going for breakfast.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
I just wait for this. I can't wait for this whole COVID crap to go away.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I just want to be able to be somewhat normal and be able to go out and have a barbecue at the house again and do all those things. And, you know, anyways, so you were here at Rise Above. You spent a year. We got you back to school. Hey, Dingo, what's going on, buddy? Got you back to school. You ultimately went back to Cleveland. You have graduated high school. You got your certificate.
No.
You know, you haven't?
Not
so
yet.
talk about that.
Not yet.
Yeah?
Nah, yeah, I'm still haven't graduated yet.
Yeah.
School was never really my thing. You know it.
Now,
it was,
so I'm leading into that.
right, yeah.
So I think that my mindset says it wasn't your thing because you were so focused on the future you couldn't handle the present.
Dang. I don't know.
Because you're always thinking entrepreneur. So
He's
for
on
those of you that
something.
don't know, Jamir, my guy, is all about the projects. And I don't mean projects in like the place. I mean the projects as in I need something else to do. You know, I need the next job. I need the next entrepreneurial opportunity because your goal isn't to be just an average factory worker.
Nah. No disrespect to anybody who got a regular
Yeah,
job,
yeah, for
but,
sure.
That's just not my my
So-
preference.
Let's talk about the big picture that's in your head. Because I don't think you need high school to be doing what you got pictured in your head. I'm just being transparent. My whole job is to get kids through high school.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I really didn't like school because it was like I'm learning all of this every single day where I'm not gonna use it. You know what I mean? It's just I'm learning it so I could take a test and then you could grade me A, B, C, D, and if I don't fit your standards, then I can't move on. And you know what I mean? It's just a system that
Yeah,
you
that's
in,
deep.
and it's like, the
You know
skills.
Elon Musk, obviously.
Yeah, Tesla.
You know what he says about high school and university?
What?
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
He 100% believes it's a waste of time. He specifically hires people that don't have university degrees.
Yeah, especially now because you got YouTube. Like our generation, like you got YouTube. You can go on there and learn anything. You know what I mean? Like I know I started a marketing company. I didn't go to college and get an MBA. You know what I mean? I learned it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I tried and I failed and I learned it on my own. Like school was just never. I just didn't see it. Like
So do you see drive and determination and a willingness to succeed and fail as more important than academics?
oh yeah, for sure.
Curious now what
Sure.
the audience says about that. How do you guys, Uncle Jim's never been normal. True story. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think academics is secondary to drive and determination in a will to succeed? I mean, we have that Michael Jordan quote downstairs on the wall, right? Where it says, I can accept failing, even multiple times. But what I can't accept is never trying at all,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
right?
It's real true.
Because, I mean, if you're going to sit on your ass and have your hands under your backside and say, well, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. Well, yeah, you just accepted failure. Or the status quo or whatever the thing is, you just accepted it and that's just the way it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know? And I don't know if you remember me telling this story. I mean, I know my audience knows this story, but when I was in what would be middle school, but in Canada, my wife and I are from Canada, I was not a great student is the best way I can say it. I was a bad kid, you know, and I don't use that term bad kid at all. But I was not liked by the staff, and my wife's parents remembers being told by her parents to avoid me as a student. Stay away from Neil. He's a bad influence.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, she married me.
It brought you closer together. Differences.
Yeah, it's so funny. I remember being pulled out of my 8th grade class by Mrs. Rotundi. I've never said her name on stream before. That's the first time I've ever said her name on stream. I remember her name, my 8th grade homeroom teacher. And she literally pulled me out of class. Didn't say out in the hallway. She literally pulled me out of class, threw me against the wall, and threatened me. And I remember the words, what she said to me. She said, because my brother was a bit of a BA as well. He was a bit of a badass. Slammed me against the wall and said, that you're going to be a loser your entire life, just like your brother. And those words have sunk in my head like a tattoo, never to go away. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could have said something completely different in that moment, right?
Yeah.
I could have said, yeah, you're right.
Mm.
I'm going to be a loser. That's hands under the,
Yeah. Good tell.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's giving up. That's, yeah, this is my lot in life. I'm just a bad kid. And that's, Jamir, I'm not going to lie. That's what I absolutely love about you is your entrepreneurial spirit. And that's why when you said, I was like, yeah, of course that's who you're hanging around with. You know, because you're not content with today.
Yeah.
You know, you want better always.
Mm-hmm.
And almost to a fault, you're willing to do almost anything to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I mean, and I'm to blame as well. I do it in my own life where sometimes I'll sacrifice good things on the journey to get great things.
Oh yeah. Part of it.
You know. So what are some of the great things that you're aspiring to right now? What are you working on?
Really just music right now. Working on music. That's just really like stepping stone, just a stepping stone. Like really I want to be able to do something like this, like how Rise Above is. Have a couple nonprofits. That's, big goals.
You're right.
Big goals, but right now it's just taking my time, just going at my pace, going up the levels, but just want to be best person I can, make a lot of money, live healthy, live good, and just enjoy life because, it's quick,
So you said a couple things there. I'm going to come back to. I want to read a little bit of chat because there's been
Yeah.
some chatter in here that I want to come back to, but
Okay.
but I want to write some 2 words down. And we're going to come back to it. Shalem, fire ends. I think you can. It's in most people's nature to not want to hurt someone, and being loyal to someone in order to not hurt them. Yeah. So, Shlem, what you're saying is that by nature we're not programmed to hurt each other.
Yeah.
Usually, when we hurt each other, it's because we intend to hurt each other. There's malicious intent involved to get there. For instance, I'm in the boat where I dropped out of college. I have 3 associate degrees. So in my book, I know you don't need a 4-year college degree to have a good life. Yeah, and I would agree. Up until, I have a couple of college degrees, but at the same time, the bulk of my success comes from, and I said this, was it last week?
Thank you, Juicy Peach.
I think the question came about last week. I credit most of my success in life to my 5 years in the military because it taught me determination under stress.
Yeah.
And I just let me go back. I have an email. I sent this email to myself. It's an old samurai proverb. And it says that only when a man stands at the brink of his destruction does he realize his full potential. Let that sink in for a second.
Yeah.
Only when a man stands at the brink of his own destruction does he realize his full potential. In other words, when you're about to lose everything is when you're willing to give everything. That's when you truly rise above the ordinary and become the extraordinary. When the imminentness of your demise is upon you, people can do miraculous things like lift cars off of, people and, pull babies out of wells and, you know what I mean? Just crazy stuff. That's when most medals of honors are given in the military is when men are at the brink of their destruction and just suddenly heroic things come out of nowhere.
Nowhere, yeah. Superhuman.
Yeah, that's deep.
You're supposed to encourage students, not threaten them, and yeah, exactly. That's what happens. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are good teachers and some bad teachers there, Morg. I haven't had the drive or the determination to finish. Yeah, I did, Juicy. Thank you, and welcome to the stream, Juicy. Hope you had a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Juicy can't imagine me being a bad kid. Could you imagine me being a bad kid, Jamir?
I can't either, really.
You can't? Really?
I'm
a bad dude. I'm a troublemaker. I'm not a bad dude. I'm a troublemaker. I poke the bear.
Yeah.
You know? I think the hardest thing that people have with me is that I don't hold back. I'm not afraid to speak truth in your life when it's needed to be said.
Yeah.
I ain't going to wait for the right time. Why wait? You're just going to hurt yourself more if I don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You know, at least if everyone else, just because nobody else has the balls to say it, doesn't mean that I'm wrong by saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
Somebody's got to be strong enough to stand up and say, you're an idiot. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know? And there's the reality is, if I was just some sheltered kid that never had any hardship in his life, I could almost see somebody that had some hardship in their life saying, dude, shut up. You don't know me. But the reality is I've been through all the crap as well. The abuse, the sexual, physical, emotional, all that BS. Yeah. The alcohol, the drugs, completely flat freaking broke, not even matching shoes on my feet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My mom going grocery shopping and passing bad checks and telling me to shut my mouth while we're waiting in line to pay for groceries. Mm-hmm. Don't say nothing, otherwise we're not eating this week. Like, I know what it's like. Yes. And I am not afraid to say, that's gonna suck, son. Stop. Mm-hmm. You keep this BS going, you're gonna hate everything soon, and everyone for that matter. So I think for me that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Right? I mean that's huge. Yeah, giddy up, bro.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, it seems like what you have gone through and with your childhood and your life brought you to this point to help others. That come from the same background. Because I come from the same background as well. Sexually, physically.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you don't have anybody to talk to. You're just in this world alone.
Yeah.
And it seems like when you're in a place like this, where it's not a lot of people, you're catering to, the kids, how they need to be catered to. Sometimes they don't even get that at home from their own parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it seems like the perfect place for the children to get that. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And not every kid that comes through is going to have the absolute horrible. Some kids just don't like school.
Yeah.
And it just happens they get kicked out of school because of it, right? Some kids just make stupid mistakes like writing, I'm going to blow the school up on the bathroom wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just honestly, that's just a stupid mistake,
I think really, like, in my case, it's really crazy because, like, I didn't been expelled from, like, a couple of different schools. Like, this was literally the only school that I could come to, like, that I enjoyed coming to. You know what I mean? Like, it was.
So you had been expelled from a few other schools before you got to Rise Above, is what you just said.
Yep. 2 high schools in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. 2 middle schools in Cleveland.
Bad boy.
I was a little bad.
You were that guy.
But, yeah, like, it was different here. Like,
yeah.
Out of all the schools I've been to, like, it was just different.
Because you didn't suddenly become a different person the day you walked in this front door.
Right.
Right?
No,
You're the same kid.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a kid then. You're not a kid now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're still a little kid.
Yeah.
Even though you're a foot and a half taller than me, for crying out loud.
But, yeah, it was different, though.
Yeah. I'm glad that you recognized that.
Yeah.
Millsy, welcome to the stream, buddy. I always mocked the class clown by my teachers and told I would never succeed unless I joined the circus. Nice, Millsy. You did join the circus. It's called the military. Even my family doubted me mostly. So I joined the military and said to myself, I will prove you all wrong. I love it. That is exactly what I said. My dad swore I would never succeed in the military. And that's exactly what I said. I'll prove you wrong. Let me show you that because he literally was like old school Portuguese guy. So he was all about family name. And he was like, you go in the military and you drop out, you're going to ruin the family name. Like, you're going to make me look bad, basically, by you failing. So, and now you're sitting there 19 years later with 4 years left to retirement, Millsy. Freaking amazing. Love it, buddy. And you are. I agree with Moore. You're still a clown, no matter what.
You see the question Renzi asked for Brandon and Jamir. Was it easier to relate to what Rich Commerce was trying to teach you because he can relate? Oh yeah, it was definitely easier. Yeah, I mean, it made a big difference. You know what I mean? Because if you got somebody who can't relate to your situation, who ain't been through the things you've been through, or even just even a little bit, you know what I mean? So it definitely is hard. And I think that was a problem I had too. It was really nobody I could talk to that, you know, been through the same thing as me. So,
or similar at least.
Yeah,
Brandon, would you
similar.
agree with that, Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That having somebody to relate to that, you know, kind of has gone through a lot of the same crap would make it easier to talk to them. You'd feel more comfortable.
100%. You know, and even getting a little bit off topic, that's why, you know, a lot of kids maybe join gangs, you know, or join bad things because those group of people relate to their situation. It's not the most perfect of things, but that's who they relate to.
So talk about that for a second, because that's kind of a big deal. We see a lot of, I mean, the gangs in Jackson are not huge, and you know there's a reality to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you know a little bit about kind of the nonsense in Jackson to some degree.
Yeah,
you know, you've brushed up against it.
Yeah.
I think in Cleveland you've brushed up against it to some degree.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's a reality to that, because I think there's truth in what you're saying, absolutely. And I've done presentations about. That's the one thing I can't relate to, but I think I understand elements of it.
Yeah.
Because not having a positive male role model in my life, I always sought out other men that could speak into my life and encourage me.
Yeah, because
and do you see that young boys particularly are joining gangs because that's what they're getting from that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's different elements, but for sure. Because I know when I was young, I didn't have a dad. My mom was my dad.
Same.
And you can't get that dad feel from a woman, because a woman is a woman. She's supposed to nurture and care you, and care for you. A dad's supposed to be a dad and be that dad.
The disciplinarian.
Yeah. And when you don't have that, it's it's a total disconnect, even from life, kinda. You know. So you move on to other things.
Yeah, I agree completely. Anything you would add to that, Jamir?
Yeah, just especially if that's, in your environment, you know what I mean? If that's especially like my type of environment where that's 90% of, what's going on.
Yeah. Was it expected of you, if in Cleveland especially, that you're in this neighborhood, you're part of this gang, period? Did you have a choice?
No, not really. Not really.
Yeah.
You got a choice, but when you a kid, you 13, 14, even younger than that, like 10, 11.
Yeah.
That's when you really getting into it. So it's really no choice, because you don't have the mental strength and like the, like the consciousness to really say, to really know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was
That's
really no choice.
Mental strength.
Yeah. So that's a great question. A great point. You talk about mental stress, because, I mean, a lot of these kids are joining at 11, 12, younger.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, how does that shape you as a young man? Like your worldview especially is very narrow at that point, I think.
Yeah.
Because really it's neighborhood driven. Your world is your neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know people that's like 50, 60 still ain't, left out of their city, left out of their hood.
Yeah.
They still, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You just trapped mentally and physically. You know what I mean? So it's,
because I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, when you have, especially this year, it's been freaking, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's been stupid.
Yeah.
Between the election, COVID, everything that's going on. It's just, people are messed up. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's just the people eating people. It's just nonsense, Humanity has not been kind to each other. But, I really see that closed world system. And I kind of grew up in a neighborhood that was very closed off as well, because I said I grew up in what I would call the projects of my community. As a kid, it was a low-income, very specific government housing project thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, people knew you were from that neighborhood, and so you didn't go to other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a hard stereotype to get over.
Yeah.
It was hard to go to school. It was hard to, because everybody knew. You know.
Yeah.
And then on top of all the other stuff you're going through.
Yeah. All the other junk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Definitely.
you know.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, you know, if you didn't have a place like this to, you know, hold back on to, where somebody could actually sit down and just really listen and understand, you know, so.
Is there anything, Jamir, that you took from Rise Above? And it's okay if you don't have an answer for this. So I kind of put you on the spot with this one. Is there anything that you took from Rise Above that you still either hold fast to or that is guiding you in your decision making now? And if there's nothing, I fully respect that. Because, I mean, you've grown up a lot since your time here. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Well, I would say it's two things. Like, one, like on the, from, like the leadership aspect of it.
And we talked a lot about leadership, you and I.
Yeah.
A lot.
Like, with me, like you say, being a little bit more mature, you know, and it just, I was just really able to be like the leader amongst other students here, and that really helped me, and I keep that, you know, with me.
That you have influence.
Yeah.
That you can guide others.
Yeah.
Good or bad,
Good.
honestly.
Yeah. Mostly, you know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully good.
For sure, yeah.
Hopefully good.
For sure, yeah.
Which is awesome to me, because I know that was, it's awesome for me to hear that, because that's a lot of what we spoke about.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's a big thing, you know, like, definitely a big thing.
So knowing that and hearing that and talking about the conversation we just had about neighborhood influences, how do we change the neighborhood mindset so that 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old kids, like what, because there's not going to be a Rise Above freaking everywhere. Right? There's not going to be a Neil and Veronica in every town. I mean, there may very well be, but it might just look different. But I mean, is it something that you can change, or is it just the nature of the beast? Is it a reality we have to, you know? Like, how do you do that? Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm okay with being political. I'm.
No, I definitely think it's. Yeah, you could change it, but it's gonna take a lot though. You know what I mean? It's definitely gonna take a lot, because it's a lot of factors that play into, you know, that. It's a lot of factors that play into it. Let me see, how could you change it? I think a lot of it has to do with the influence, you know, what you're surrounded by, what you see on a day-to-day basis, the people in your house, outside of your house, you know what I mean? And it's really nothing I can say it's nothing you could do, but it's really all about the influence.
You know, did you ever meet Michael Dunlap when he was here?
Yeah.
Michael's good. I like Michael. He's
Yeah.
another
Yeah,
kid I
cool,
connect with. He's got a little girl now, I think.
Oh, okay.
He's doing well. He's working, and I'm really happy with how things are going. You know, he was one kid where he was our first student that came in because of a gun-related incident.
Yeah.
And in all transparency, it made me nervous.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm bringing a kid in here, brought a gun to school.
Right.
You know, just a gun, a loaded 45. Like, you know what I mean? A gun to school.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be okay with maybe a little 22 or.
Yeah.
But then you meet Michael, and he's just this. He's a Jamir-esque kid, just this quiet demeanor kid.
Yeah.
I mean, hard to look you in the eye. I always remember telling Michael, put your head up and look at me, son.
Mm-hmm.
Always look at me, Michael. It took him 1.5 years before we could have a conversation like this, where he'd always look at me. Always have to remind him. And for me, it was a confidence thing. And we're talking about the gang side of things. You know, he was a pawn, and so he was submissive in everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was never in control. And one of my biggest things, and that's why I was so glad you said leadership just now.
Yeah.
Because all these men are being, you know, made pawns.
Yeah.
And they lose their leadership ability. unless they do something drastic to gain it.
Mm.
You know, they have to do very dramatic things to gain leadership in their worlds. And let me shut my phone off. I don't know why I left it on. I told you guys shut yours off. I left mine on.
Yeah.
But you know, for Michael, one of the things that he always said is he brought the race side of things in when he first came here. He couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing helping him. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. I'll be honest with you. I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole race thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It
never
doesn't
get it.
exist in Canada.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. The whole conversation this past year is infuriating to me. I mean, you and I talked about it on the phone that one night
Yeah.
for a period of time.
Yeah.
It's infuriating to me because I don't see how in 2021 we can still be having a freaking conversation about race in America.
Right.
With all the laws that we have, equity and everything that we've got, how are we still in Jackson having to pass stupid little bylaws and stuff so that people can rent houses? And
Yeah.
what the heck is, like, you know, and that's the thing that's always kind of been curious to me, because you walk in here and you see this assertive little Portuguese guy looking at you. You know, does that ever cross your mind with me?
What, like race?
Yeah,
Like,
race with Veronica and I.
No, not. I mean, nah, like, so when we go places sometimes, though, like in Jackson, though, like when we go places.
Like you and I?
Yeah, or if I'm like, you know, if we all together.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but not really, though. Not really, honestly. Cause it don't matter to me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree
It don't
1,000%.
matter to me.
It never freaking crosses my mind. I'm like,
But
and
yeah.
it's just such a prevalent freaking conversation.
Well, yeah, it's definitely like it'll be the same. Like, well, I don't know if it'll be the same, but like if you came to Cleveland, and then I brought you around a whole bunch of.
That's my next
You
question.
would-
So would it be the same if I came to Cleveland and walked through your neighborhood with you?
Yeah, like you wouldn't, like you would feel, you know what I mean? You would
I'd feel
a
fine.
certain-
It'd be the other
Yeah,
people
they-
looking at me that'd be like,
Yeah,
who's this dude?
Yeah.
You know, is that true?
Yeah.
You think that's true, Brandon?
Well, as far as you coming to
Coming to Cleveland, yeah, because I'm coming to Cleveland. I don't know if he's told you. This is the next part of the conversation. We're doing a video, and we're coming to Cleveland.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be slick. Yeah, I think it all depends on who you are, you know, and you know how you feel about yourself around certain people, individuals, and
'Cause
settings.
I mean, I carry myself pretty proud.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I'm not a meek person by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a fearful. Fear is not in my repertoire.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cautious and I'm nervous about certain things, but I am not a fearful person. There isn't much in this world that I am prepared at any moment. I thank you, Jesus Christ. I am prepared. So death does not worry me. But there isn't a man alive that can step before me where I'm like, uh-oh. You know? I'm like, whatever. It is what it is.
Ooh,
For a lot of different reasons.
Can I touch on something?
Yeah,
as well?
absolutely. Go.
I'm reverting back to the conversation that we had on what can change the cities and our mindset. I think one answer is God, because a lot of people, I think they're missing that in their life, that relationship, you know, that spirit, which is causing them to be misled and to do certain things that they wouldn't, you know, do.
Sure.
You know. And I think that's you know, just having that connection with, you know, any type of higher power, if you want to call them God, you know, the infinite universe.
Whatever. Yeah.
I think that's a big thing.
And I mean, we're naturally spiritual beings. I mean, when, you know, go back to the samurai phrase I read earlier,
that
you
was
know,
a
when
good
we're in our defining moments,
Yeah.
we all revert to some spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Because trust me, when you're in a trench and it's hitting the fan, there ain't a person on the battlefield that ain't praying in their trench.
Right.
Everybody's praying.
Off the bat.
Because they know they're about to meet their maker, and God knows every one of those people is praying right now.
Yeah.
It's naturally within us when we feel an infinite amount of demise in our future.
Right.
Just it's whether or not, when times are good, when the cash is flowing and the food's on the table,
True.
whether we acknowledge that same person or not. So,
Yeah.
Juicy says, race doesn't exist in her world. I grew up in the military. Gender and race never mattered. We are all brothers, sisters, lovers. Yeah. You know, I think I think for me the big part of it is just because Canada's just a weird place. I don't know. Have you ever been to Canada before?
No, I always wanted to go.
It really is true that when they go around, they say everyone's nice. It's just it's a melting pot. And what's weird to me about it is America's a melting pot too. You have all these different races and ethnicities from all over the freaking world. And it's the same in Canada. You have a Chinatown, you have a Little Italy, you have a whatever, a Greek town.
Yeah.
You have all that same stuff here, yet race is a big issue here.
Yeah.
So anyways, we've had a conversation about it on stream before, and it's always a topic of kind of weirdness to me because, again, I'm talking to Americans about something that I don't understand. We don't understand. Brandon hit that spot on. I know a lot of my struggles go hand in hand with my struggles with God and religion. Yeah, I'd agree. And again, someone that, not only has I have my own faith, obviously, but also having a degree in theology has helped me to understand kind of the commonality that God has. And I'm saying God, not necessarily just a Christian God, but whether it's Allah or whatever God has for human nature. We all sense the presence of something, just what we call it by is, changes. More accessory theory is that there's too much hate in the world already. Might as well try and bring some light into some good. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I think that's one of the contexts of Rise Above is, when students come in, the last thing I want to do is add more stress to your life.
Right.
I'm here to calm things down.
Yeah.
If 13, 14 hours a day are absolute hell at home, come here for vacation. I'm not here to piss you off more, to upset you more. Now, if along the way I got to poke you a little bit to get you to do some schoolwork, then let's get some schoolwork done. But Andy, this is super interesting, by the way. From what Jamir said about growing up and not having a choice about going into game makes me realize what he grew up with and what he had wasn't tough. Yeah, it's true, Andy. There's a lot of people that don't have a perspective, and that's why I think you were talking about this idea of, Brandon, about the idea that it's hard to speak to people that can't share perspective.
Yeah, totally.
So it's hard for folks very often to cross that bridge. So let's talk. I want to go back to the music thing. So we kind of hopped on it, then we hopped off that train pretty quick. So explain the music thing. So what are you doing exactly with music? Are you the musician, or are you helping musicians?
So really, I do a bit of everything. I make music and I do the engineering. My cousin make music too. He also do the engineering.
Your cousin Brandon, you're speaking
my
of?
cousin Brandon,
He's better than me at the engineering. Way better.
Pull the mic down a smidge for me, Brandon, just so we can see your face more.
Okay.
Good, yeah, perfect right there.
Okay. Yeah, we as far as music production, music recording, just the whole thing.
So now, do you actually do any of the singing, or? Because I tell you why I asked. Because it would. So when we first came into the studio today for Brandon and Jamir, I turned the stream elements on and I had my intro music going, which you're all familiar with, just a little jingle thing that I got. And as it was going, Brandon was making the comment that Jamir was already figuring a tune out in his head for to go along with the song, and I could see you sway it. I'm like, you got it going already. Yeah. So is it one of those things where you're doing not just engineering, but you're actually making music itself as well?
Yeah.
So do you write lyrics and stuff?
Yeah, sometimes I write, sometimes I just go off the head.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's a sign of genius, when you can do that stuff. It's like art.
Yeah.
It's not like art, it is art.
Yeah.
Does anybody in chat, any of you guys do like music and stuff like that?
You got a sound
even paint. I love painting.
So what software are you using?
I use Logic Pro.
Logic Pro?
Yep, got the focus.
Yeah, Andy was asking if he's got SoundCloud.
Okay, yeah, I got
Is Andy, explain SoundCloud to me. A. Littleton is Andy, by the way. So I keep saying this. Sorry. So Juicy and Morg want to know where they can hear your tunes.
They can go to YouTube. They can go to YouTube and type in here. I'm about to type it in here. They can go to YouTube, type in Jamir.
Go ahead. Is it free to use if they give credit to you guys? So if someone wants to play it on stream or something like that, they can use it with as long as they give you guys credit.
Yes.
Is it okay?
They can play it without giving us credit. Yeah.
No, they got to give you
I
credit.
don't
No,
know
if you're
either.
going to use the music, give you credit.
Oh, I thought he meant just like stream it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I want. So describe the type of rap that we're talking about, because I'm assuming it's rap, hip hop,
I knew you was
R&B.
gonna get to that question.
So it's not exactly kid friendly.
Surprisingly, some of it is kind of kid bop because my cousin, he really doesn't like to cuss.
Yeah,
So you know, he rarely cuss. If anything, I'm kind of the cusser.
you're the potty mouth.
I'm the potty mouth. But yeah, he keeps things real clean. Kind of like higher vibration type of stuff.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. Try to make it positive music.
Yeah,
'cause
real
it's-
positive.
It's so,
Yeah.
it's so much negative music out.
Yeah, I
especially
agree.
in our
I'm so
community,
glad you're
in
saying
our
this
type
right
of
now.
music.
Silo, thanks for
Crazy.
joining the stream, buddy.
Yeah.
So so that's good then. So what type of, how do you get your themes for the music then?
The mind
Really, it just comes out of nowhere.
just comes out of
Things
nowhere.
we've been through, thing.
So daily life.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting. So how do you turn that into music? I'm not an artist at all. I don't have a musical inclination to save my life. Someone said to me, "You need to sing right now to save your life." I'm like, "All right, Jesus, I'm coming right now. We're on the way."
But sorry, what was the question though? Okay.
Like, how do you just the content itself? So you get like when you heard the tune earlier, like how does that just feel like it comes natural? Like it just comes out of nowhere?
It come natural. Like I say, it's either like it's all real music. So it's just what we've been through, what we seen.
Yeah.
And like in that case where you just played the jingle, I just started just say putting words together with rise above, rhyming stuff with rise above, or
That's so awesome.
yeah. Just
So
natural.
I've put it to these guys a little bit, chat, that they're gonna take my Rise Above intro or something and maybe put together something for me. So everyone's saying you guys got
Thank
talent.
you. Yeah, I
It'd
appreciate
be real
it. Thank you.
kid friendly too.
It's too funny. It doesn't surprise me one bit that anybody in this chat saying you guys got talent. I mean, I've known you long enough and know,
Yeah.
everything that you want to do,
Yeah, you put your mind to it,
You-
you can make
anything.
it happen.
anything that you put your mind to.
Set your focus right.
Yeah. If it's got to be, it's up to me, right?
Yeah.
That whole mindset of
Yeah.
we got to just do it.
Yeah.
So what's the goal with this? Is this just a hobby, something you want to do for fun, or is this something you actually want to make a career out of?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we trying to make it pop off. We trying to, definitely make a career out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
So is this, how often do you come up with new content?
Every day.
Whenever we can.
Yeah.
So right now we in a transition. Like he has his computer, so maybe we'll meet up, make a song. He'd do a song.
Yeah.
He does the mixer and mastering, and ourself, himself. Again, YouTube, really good at it. It's crazy, just crazy the progress.
Yeah.
Cause we really started. We made our first song in the garage. It
Really?
was a garage band.
That's
you
too
know.
funny. I love it.
Yeah, and the progress, just the resilience, even what I learned from my little cousin.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm 26. My cousin's 20?
Yeah.
So
Is he really good?
yeah, he's really good.
And that's the one that doesn't cuss a lot.
No, yeah, he doesn't cuss a lot. I cuss a
Too
lot.
funny.
I'm Brandon, I cuss.
I cuss sometimes because I don't want to get nobody, the expectations. I don't cuss.
Yeah. No,
But I don't be trying to be too harsh though. I don't say certain stuff. Though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't your keeper. So you say what you got to say.
Yeah.
That's too funny. So do you have a plan? Do you guys know how to take it to the next spot? Because I mean, YouTube's a great avenue. A lot of people have. I mean, I'm going to use it. I'm going to say it. Justin Bieber was a YouTube sensation. It's just somebody videotaped the kid on the corner in a little Canadian town, and it blew up. And I mean, Post Malone, another guy,
Yeah.
just put a YouTube video out, and suddenly the guy's worth freaking $1.5 billion, and you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Have you guys thought about how you do that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word?
Just consistency. That's the word, really.
Yeah, that
Just
is
keep,
a good word.
You know, just keep posting on YouTube, because now you got streaming platforms like United Masters, DistroKid, TuneCore, where you can upload your music, get them into streaming platforms without a record label. So,
And you guys are doing that.
Yep, just fully independent.
So say those names again, just so these guys. I don't know if if you guys have heard of these or not, but say them again.
United Masters, TuneCore, DistroKid,
and these are platforms.
Baby. Yep.
These are platforms you can upload your music to, and you do, I assume.
Yep.
It's free to access.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, some of them got like a subscription, but it's only like $60.
Okay, for the year type of thing.
Yeah, upload unlimited songs. So if you make a song, you can upload it right from your phone. It'll be on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, everything, and you get royalties every time somebody stream your music.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you, Millsy saying SoundCloud is kind of the same thing? You can share your music on there too?
Yeah, she said she heard of DistroKid,
Yeah.
Silas says the piano in the background of Hunchos is so good.
Thank you.
I got one song on Spotify. I think we got a couple. Can't remember the exact song.
I know for sure it's Playmaker.
Yeah, Juicy's asking if you guys are on Spotify yet.
Yep. I think if you search Mir and Brando, let me type it again here. It should pop up on either YouTube or any of the streaming platforms. But okay.
Yeah, because I mean anything that we can do to help. I mean I don't know how much. I mean we have a platform called Discord that we could use. I think Silo, you were talking about that earlier. If you want to, put a link to one of the songs you guys got in there, type of thing like that. I'm sure we could put something in. We have an international community called SAG that I'm a part of. That's the Strictly Average Gaming, the little sloth that you see on the stream there.
Yeah.
We could probably put stuff in there and put one of your YouTube songs out there. Kind of wild how accessible music production is these days. So have you guys found it hard at all to get the music out to all the different platforms? Because that's a good point. No, so it's easy.
No, it's fairly easy.
So what's the hardest part of it then? I mean, is it just coming up with the beat and the lyrics, or
like making it? I think the hardest part,
because Jamir says the whole producing it and engineering is easy. It takes them 2 seconds to do.
Well, now it does. First
it took. We gradually got it, But I think the hardest part is like, because just imagine if we didn't have the foresight, the mic, the computer, just the knowledge. We would have had to pay somebody to do that.
Yeah,
that's hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
if not thousands, tens of thousands in some cases.
So I think that's the thing. Actually, trying to get in the studio and get the money to come up with that. Then you want to do a video, you have to pay $500 for that.
Yeah.
So that's we trying to eliminate all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Silo, one of the guys in chat, says, imagine 20 years ago doing the same thing.
Right.
Having to make all the mixtapes and get them out to clubs and all that kind of stuff.
CDs.
Now, have you guys thought about that at all? Actually doing clubs and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get to that point. Like, right now, we really just starting with putting our music out there. But definitely, that's our goal.
Yeah.
Club, shows. That's because that's where you make the money.
Something just hit me.
What's up?
So we're going to do this video for Rise Above. And we're probably going to come down to Cleveland to visit you guys. I wonder if there's a way that we could combine showing you either producing the music, making the music, or something to that effect in this video. So we're going to do a video for Rise Above, and we're going to do a bunch of film festivals across the U.S. with it. We're going to enter in a bunch of contests and stuff. And chat, be on the lookout for this in the coming 12 months. We're going to do a big Rise Above, kind of like a bio video, where we're going to visit people in the community and former students and things of that nature and see what they're up to now, type of thing. And it's going to be production quality. Like, it's going to be a top-notch, high-end video. And at the end of it, we're going to be entering it into different film festivals throughout the United States. So be on the lookout for that. I'll give you guys all more details when we get there. And I just thought, how awesome would it be to go to Cleveland and actually have an element of that, do the interview plus an element of you guys either making or producing or even just performing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be slick.
I mean, that could be especially if we went national with the video to putting your credit in there and throwing your names on it and stuff. We could actually help a little bit with regards to spreading the word about,
we
I
appreciate
love
that.
that could be fun. That could just be fun.
See, that's that loyalty.
Yeah,
that brotherly love.
Help,
that's what that
scratch
is.
mine, scratch yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so someday when you're famous, get me tickets to your next show. Thanks, Mork says. That's easy math. Yeah. Slam music industry stuff. A lot of it is getting in the front door with the right people, being in the right place, the right time to get discovered.
Yeah, great point.
You know, and I'd even say the right look. You know, a lot of it has to do with you can have a great voice, but you got a face like a can of smash.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't gonna go too far, and you guys are doing all right. You guys are all right. Jamir still got that cute little pretty boy face.
Yeah, it's definitely about your image. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think the fact that you guys produce both types, you know, the kind of R-rated as well as the cleaner stuff, gives you more accessibility
to
across greater,
audience.
to a lot more people. And because I think it was Millsy was saying that there's, Will Smith, you know, look at how far he got producing absolutely clean.
Yeah,
I mean, it was crappy rap, but I mean,
you could just everybody could listen to it.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, it sold like freaking crazy for some reason.
Yeah.
Not sure if the guys are making a mixtape, but it'd be a great place to put the music mixtape.
Dat Piff, my mixtape.
Yeah, so you guys know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they throwing out some good stuff out there. That's what I'm talking about.
I know the people that want to. Have you ever guys thought about that? The whole American Idol thing?
Nah.
No?
Not for this type of music.
No, you don't think so?
Nah, cause it's not really like singing or
Because it's too grungy, or because it's not singing.
Yeah,
How
it's
is rap not singing? I can't rap.
It's
because I can't sing. That's why. And don't tell me it's because I ain't got a tune in me.
You use the auto tune. You be good.
He'd be good.
That's funny. So do you guys, speaking of auto-tune, do you guys have pure voices or do you have to use some creative engineering to make things sound?
Yeah, I use auto-tune, but like everybody do. That's just the modern sound now. Like everybody, even the top artists use a little bit of auto-tune, whether they want to admit it or not. So I definitely use it though for some of my music.
Silo raised a good point. So we talked before the stream started. We were talking about the AT&T, Best Buy, and Eaton sponsors that we have for the Risk Immerse stream here. Have you guys thought about sponsors going after like a local brand in Cleveland?
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example of that. One of my regular voices on here. I don't know if I got a. Do I have one of his voices in here? No, I don't. OG Pickle, Mitch, used to be big into like making T-shirts. He's huge in Cleveland, and they would always go around and they'd do different sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just curious if you guys have looked at even getting different sponsors with like you rep their gear and videos and stuff like that.
Just time, you know what I mean? Because still trying to get that leverage on social media first, because you gotta have that, some type of audience, some type of leverage.
So do you guys have social media, Instagram and all that kind of stuff that the people can look up if they want to follow your music?
Yep.
Columbus, sorry, not Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
he's from Columbus.
Yep. Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, throw your socials in the chat as well. And I love how when you type in chat, you come up as ripped immersed.
I'm ripped. Okay.
OG Pickle. Schlem. It's OG Pickle. Mitch Long. Yep. Yeah, that's where the Mitch man is. Because Cleveland is what, 2 hours from here? 2.5?
2.5-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah,
it's a comfy drive.
Yeah. Real good drive.
Not today, though.
Nah.
Not today, though. Chat, you guys got any other questions for these two fine gentlemen before I go on to the next topic? So there's so this is what? Instagram? Everything.
For me, everything. I don't know if
Twitter?
got Twitter and all that. Or you just got Instagram.
I just got Instagram.
Oh yeah, yep. That's Instagram for Brando 216 guy. That's just his Instagram. And then for mine, Mere Music. That's for everything. Twitter, TikTok.
216 is
Snapchat.
area code, I assume.
Yep. Cleveland area code.
Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, how do we want to finish this? What do we want to say? What's your advice to the people?
Stay inspired. Just stay inspired. Stay positive.
So stay inspired means don't give up on yourself. That's the first thing. When you say that, that's what I hear. Don't give up on yourself.
Yeah. And, don't give up on your dreams. No matter what, just keep pushing. Always want better for yourself. Stay positive. Keep positive people around you, because that make a difference. Positive energy, raising your vibration. You know what I mean? That would be my advice, because once you got that, everything else is gonna fall in line. Fall in place. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I agree 1,000%.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything you'd add to that, Brandon?
I mean, shoot, I think he hit it out the ballpark.
Not surprised. So for thank you, Juicy. That's exactly what I was about to say. So for everyone that can, and for those of you that have access, please go on to the YouTubes and to wherever you can and spread, share, and like and love this guy in the music for both Brandon and Jamir.
Thank you.
And if you can, go on the Instagrams and shoot him a follow, whatever the case is, and watch for any new releases. Silo, if you're still around, is it possible for us to put something on Discord? I think Andy will let me. Thank you. That's exactly what I was about to ask you. So Discord is this a larger group where we all get together and chat and have video calls and all that kind of stuff. So Silo linked some of your music to that in Discord.
Okay, cool.
As well. So hopefully you guys get some new follows and views, a few extra views out of that as well.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all very much. And for me in closing, it's been 3 good years of regular butt kickings, a lot of rope cutting. Because one of the things that I'm a big fan of is helping young men, especially, know that their past doesn't define them.
Mm-hmm.
Mistakes happen. I've made a lot of them, a lot. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let any one of them determine what my future is going to do and not do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the same for all of you guys. A lot of us get together and chat on a regular basis, whether here or in other places, and we talk about what's the happenstances of our lives on a day in and day out basis, and the good things that are happening, the bad things that are happening, and just know that today is today and tomorrow is tomorrow, and you have the ability to influence each of those in any one of many ways, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's bad, know that you have the opportunity to change it.
Mm-hmm.
If not your overall surroundings, at least your mental attitude towards it. And so, it sucks, but I'm going to choose not to suffer in silence, or whatever the case may be. And Jamir, I think that's one of the blessings of us getting to know each other over the years, is that, I've vented on you a few times and you vented on me a few times, and I think we've gotten to be good friends over the years, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I look forward to an illustrious music career here in the future.
Oh yeah.
And us coming down to Cleveland doing the big video.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
I'm legit excited for it as well. I'm not gonna lie. And really honestly hearing what all the future holds for both of you guys. Brandon, thank you especially for taking the time to come in with Jamir and supporting him today. I know, especially with the 17 feet of snow we got last night, it's just, you could have easily stayed somewhere where it's nice and warm, and you chose to come in here today. So
Michigan snow was worse than Ohio snow, man. That's a different.
At least they
because it curves
snow
around, right?
Yeah.
It does this weird thing.
Yeah,
Juice says, so nice to meet you guys. Wishing you both the best. Good luck in your future endeavors. Keep it going down the good road.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait
You too.
to watch
Appreciate
more as you all grow.
All of you as well.
So one of the things, in future streams, guys, know that we are very close to our interview of Ricardo Lamas. If you haven't looked him up yet, go and do the whole Wikipedia on Ricardo Lamas. Ricardo's a international. He just retired actually this year. Was the WEC World Heavyweight or World Middleweight Champion, Ultimate Fighter, and has had a dozen or so. Actually, I think it's close to 24 UFC fights. Mr. Ricardo Lamas is coming on stream here. I've already been talking to his club manager and all that kind of stuff. So we are set for a UFC fighter interview here on Risk Immersed. It's going to be a blast. Ricardo has a pretty interesting history, and we'll get into it when he's together. But Ricardo and his family are originally from Cuba. They fled Cuba back when Ricardo was young because his father was not a fan of Mr. Castro and was vocal about it and had his life threatened. So they fled and came to the United States, where they made history. Ricardo Lamas. And just for context, Ricardo is an influential UFC fighter. And again, I'm sure he'll talk about this on stream. But for those of you that don't know, Greg, why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm thinking in my head. The big UFC fight that just happened, he was just called out in that fight, saying that he needs to come out of retirement and fight in that. So Conor McGregor, that's who I was thinking of. Little brain fart on my part. So Conor McGregor just called out Ricardo Lamas, saying that boy needs to come out of retirement and come fight me. So still a big name in the UFC game, and hopefully we see him sometime before the spring here on stream. I will be meeting with him in the next week or so to discuss some, and I'll keep you guys in the loop when that's going to happen. So a little correction on topic from today. We were going to have the faith-based conversation today. Oh, Schlem. Sorry, buddy. I'm going to repost that for you. Hold on. I'm not sure why that timed you out. I blame Morg. That's what Schlem just said. Doesn't he keep getting his butt kicked by people he calls out? Yeah, he does. Connor always. He gets real cocky and then gets his head slapped off. Yeah, he used the bad word. That's what you get, Schlem. This isn't a bad word channel. I see they got to do it like Morg did it. So we were going to have the faith conversation today, but what the Bible is telling you to do versus what it's not telling you to do. We'll push that off to next week because we know we had a lot of people that were really interested in that conversation. So we will have that conversation next week. I think Nick and I are going to come on and have that chat. And then we'll get into the philosophical conversation after that. So for all of you that hung out with us today, thank you very much for hanging out. And Jamir and Brandon, thank you both for that as well. For Diablo, for the subscription today, I want to remind you guys that all of your donations, subscriptions, bits, all that stuff go towards and are counted as a donation towards Rise Above. So thank you for those of you that continue to sub, and for those of you that are involved with my Patreon. Yes, we do have a Patreon site. That specifically is to help Veronica and I. So thank you for all you guys that help us on that on a monthly basis. Bless you all. We will see you all next Monday on our regular day. We got pushed off because of a holiday here in the U.S., but we'll be back next Monday at a regular time, 11 Eastern time, to have our conversation about what the Bible actually is saying to you. Is it telling you what to do or not? We'll see you all next week. Have a great day.